Straight ahead on Valley News Live at 10, the man accused of smuggling people into Minnesota from Canada walks out of a Grand Forks jail. We'll have the latest. Plus,
making sure that the city's safe and the cops are safe, and they absolutely are.
Hear what Fargo's police chief has to say after being put on an improvement plan by city leaders.
And Hutch will show us how long our bitter cold snap will continue. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Welcome to Valley News Live at 10. I'm Justin Betty.
And I'm Stacy Van Dyke. Tonight, Fargo Police Chief Dave Zabolski is still on the job, and he's responding to recent criticism from former officers and staff after our V&L investigation found 35 officers and civilian staff members have left in just the past 18 months.
Earlier today, I sat down with Chief Zabolski, who is taking the criticism in stride and is optimistic about the future of the department.
I really want to emphasize to the community they are safe.
Fargo Police Chief Dave Zabolski does not think the sky is falling. He relates his department's struggles to growing pains.
In a sense, I think that's, it's even beyond the police department. I think that's true. I mean, you see this in other areas of the city as well. With all of those things, you start to see different issues that affect, mid to larger cities. And I think for us to be successful as a police department, we have to be adaptable to that. We have to understand that. We don't always have to agree with everything.
Zabolski also says being a police officer these days is stressful, and he hopes the city's performance action plan, still in the development stage, can help with that.
We are on our way now to have a more comprehensive mental health program where we can do annual mental health checks. And so we want to do everything we can to keep our officers healthy throughout the course of their career and have those regular maintenance checks. And the better they are, the better their services to the community.
And he points to the 5 new officers just sworn in this week as signs of a brighter future ahead.
They're aware of what's happening in the environment, but they are still committed to serving the community. And they understand the stress, the risk, and all that's being asked of them, which is a lot. We ask a lot of our cops. But they're also still, in spite of that, willing to serve. They're committed to the organization. They're committed to the city. And that is really gratifying from my perspective to know that we've still got people out there that really want to do this job. And we have to support them because those numbers are dwindling, not just here, but across the country.
Zabolski told me he hopes the city approves some form of retention bonus as well to entice more officers to stay.
That performance action plan has been given 2 to 3 weeks to develop, and last night Mayor Tim Mahoney said they would begin re-evaluating Zabolski in 6 to 8 weeks with a 6-month plan in mind.
Right outside, it was very cold today. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joins us now with a look at what Mother Nature has in store for us next. Hutch.
Thanks, Justin. As we glide through the 10 o'clock hour, it is very cold out there. We continue under a wind chill warning as it just looks frigid and frozen out there this evening. At Fargo, actually the warm spot here in the Southern Valley with 20s below in Detroit Lakes and in Fergus Falls, 17 below this hour in Grand Forks. Hey, let's look at these wind chill values right now as we have winds between 10 and 15 miles per hour for many areas. 40 below, it feels like, on exposed skin in Langdon, and not far from that in Grand Forks or Thief River Falls in the upper 30s below. 37 below for Fergus Falls, and look at Gwinner, Valley City, Oaks. Just brutal cold out there. Again, survival kit is a must if you're traveling out in this cold. Wind chill warning until first thing in the morning. Then tomorrow the wind picks up, and even on your way to work, it's going to be gusting from the south upwards of 40 miles per hour. That's going to cause blowing snow, drifting snow, and very icy roads, and that challenge will continue throughout the day. Coming up, we'll have your hour-by-hour forecast going over the details on that, but for the overnight, check this out. We continue to see temperatures fall here till about 2 to 3 in the morning, and then we zip up above 0 by daybreak with gusty south winds, causing very slippery travel concerns. I'll have those here for you in just a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
New for you tonight at 10, a 4th candidate has announced their run for the mayor of Fargo. Hukun Dabar says he's an MSU Moorhead alum and founder of a nonprofit. His platforms include expanding access to mass transit, focusing on finding homes for the city's homeless, and ending special assessments. So far, he'll be up against current Mayor Tim Mahoney, City Commissioner Arlette Preston, and North Dakota Representative Shannon Roars Jones. That election is June 14th. A Fargo man was arrested for crimes related to child porn. Carter Morse allegedly uploaded 48 files of child pornography on the social media platform Kik back in October. The Fargo Police Department says they found files on the app that they suspected were sexual acts involving girls younger than 5. He was previously investigated for sharing child porn on Snapchat.
2 additional charges of criminal sexual conduct were filed today against a former Clearwater County deputy. Neil Dolan is charged with inappropriately touching a boy at a Bagley school. He was 13 at the time. Documents state Dolan told the victim if he said anything to anyone, he would get hurt. Dolan has already been charged for sex crimes against other children.
Authorities along the Canadian border with Minnesota and North Dakota continue to investigate a human smuggling case that left 4 people dead.
Border Patrol agents were able to rescue 5 other people from those sub-zero conditions. John Lordson spoke with a Border Patrol agent about what happened.
The morning of this incident, there was actually a blizzard. There's a lot of snow on the ground right now, and so the high winds were blowing snow everywhere.
Last Wednesday, U.S. Border Patrol agents pulled over a 15-passenger van less than a mile from the Canadian border. They say the driver was 47-year-old Steve Shand of Florida, and with him were 2 Indian nationals who had illegally crossed over. Shand was taken into custody. Just a quarter mile from there, agents found 5 more Indian nationals who had walked into the U.S. They told the agents they had been walking for about 11 hours in the sub-zero cold.
11 hours in those elements is just unreasonable. I mean, just, minutes you can get frostbite.
2 of the people showed signs of hypothermia, but even more tragic, on the Canadian side near Emerson, Manitoba, authorities found 2 adults and 2 children dead, likely from exposure.
It's tough. It's tough for my agents to see this go on. This is tough. These people are victims, right? Smugglers do not care about human life. They only care about the money that they're going to make.
As the Royal Canadian Mounted Police work to identify the 4 people who died, Steve Shand appeared in court on Monday. He's been charged with human smuggling. Chief Patrol Agent Anthony S. Good, who works out of Grand Forks, North Dakota, says he's hoping Shand will face maximum charges.
This is egregious. Our message to anybody that's thinking about making a journey like this is don't do it. It's way too tough of terrain and weather to make a crossing like that.
A judge released Shand under supervision until his next court appearance. The judge also ordered him to follow a number of conditions, things like including surrendering his passport, not leaving his home in Florida unless it's for a court appearance in Minnesota. New tonight at 10, Moorhead police are warning about a new utility bill scam. Moorhead Public Service says scammers are calling customers, threatening to turn off their electricity or water unless they pay an overdue bill. Moorhead Public Service says they'll never prompt you to make a payment directly with a person over the phone. If you think you are being scammed, you're asked to report it to law enforcement.
The Grand Forks Police Department will be donating late Officer Cody Holte's squad car to the Law Enforcement Museum at Bonanzaville in West Fargo. Holte was shot and killed in the line of duty in May 2020. The donation comes as the city is getting ready to trade for a different vehicle. The money to replace the car will come from some of the $15,000 raised from Holte's End of Watch fundraiser. No word yet on when the squad car will make its museum debut.
Also new tonight, a judge has sided with Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway, blocking nearly 17,000 employees from going on strike. Multiple unions were arranging a strike over the company's new attendance policy, which gives employees 30 points for the rest of their careers. They lose those points for days taken off. They can earn them back only by working for 2 weeks straight. The attendance policy goes into effect February 1st. The judge today ruled it simply wasn't a serious enough issue to warrant a strike.
A big twist at tonight's benefit hockey game for Dryden Thompson.
The West Nile virus left Thompson on a ventilator, unresponsive. Tonight, a raffle was held at a major rivalry game to benefit Thompson on his road to recovery. And the Thompson family got more than they bargained for, as Thompson's own grandfather won the 50-50.
I'm just so happy that ticket was in my pocket since from the time I got here at the arena, which has been just about 2 hours and a half ago. And when the number was called, I looked at it and I said, "What is this? Is this the ticket?" And people said, look, let me see Roland, let me see. And I thought, oh my heavenly days, here it is. So that's what I said.
That's the coolest thing ever. Roland says obviously he's donating all that money to his grandson.
Of course. War Road, by the way, taking on their rival Rosso in the big game tonight. Our sports team will have highlights coming up in 10 or 15 minutes in sports.
Later here on Valley News Live at 10, tensions between Russia and Ukraine continue. How this could soon impact North Dakotans.
And sub-zero temperatures all day long. We did see a pretty fair sunset as we closed out our day. And this kitty cat here keeping his eyes on some weather changes. Thanks for sharing your photo of Luca, Stephanie. Your hour-by-hour forecast looks pretty rough for Wednesday. I'll have those details right after this.